Hi, and thank you for visiting my channel. For more information, kindly subscribe and follow. Now let's get started. The Bloodline saga has been an ongoing WWE storyline for over 4 years now. The angle first really kicked off in the latter half of 2020 when Roman Reigns aligned himself with Paul Heyman and then the Usos. In 2024, there was a dramatic shift. Solo Sikoa took over the group. The freshly dubbed new Bloodline saw Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga, and Tonga Loa join the ranks. Eventually, the original Bloodline reunited, and in the end, Roman Reigns won back the Ula Fala from Sikoa. Now, the future of the new Bloodline is very much in question. On SmackDown last Friday, Sikoa couldn't speak and simply walked out instead. Jacob Fatu looked confused and perhaps annoyed. This has led to many fans wondering if maybe Jacob Fatu is tired of Solo Sikoa. If he is, there could be a major coup in the future. The Samoan werewolf might soon take over the new Bloodline. If he does, what could happen? This article will look at several things that could go down if Fatu takes over the stable. Below are 4 things that could happen if Jacob Fatu takes over the new Bloodline on WWE SmackDown. 4. Solo Sikoa could turn babyface. Solo Sikoa joined WWE's main roster in the latter half of 2022. He did so as a member of the Bloodline and soon became Roman Reigns' enforcer. As noted, this eventually led to Solo taking over the group last year after WrestleMania before losing the right to the Ula Fala just a few weeks ago. While Sikoa has been a heel throughout his entire tenure on WWE's main roster, he is not new to the role of a good guy. While on NXT, Solo was primarily a babyface and fans liked him quite a bit. Of course, his character was quite different. If Jacob Fatu takes over the new Bloodline, it could mean Solo Sikoa turns babyface. He could then shed the suit and the knockoff Roman Reigns gimmick and go back to being the street champion. From there, fans might actually get behind Sikoa again. Number 3. The WWE faction might get a new name. There could be confusion in the marketplace in WWE right now. Technically speaking, there have been 2 groups running around with the name The Bloodline for the past several months. The new Bloodline, a nickname given to Solo Sikoa's version of the group, and the OG Bloodline, a nickname given to Roman Reigns' stable, are far too similar to coexist. Given that Roman Reigns won back the Ula Fala and the right to be called the Undisputed Tribal Chief, it seems as if the new Bloodline should be the ones to lose the rights to the name. If Jacob Fatu takes over the WWE stable, he might not even want to keep it. He could see the new Bloodline as a failure that Solo Sikoa led and potentially start a new stable with himself, Tama Tonga, and Tonga Loa, with a brand new identity. 2. Jacob Fatu could have a main event level feud with Roman Reigns. Solo Sikoa's feud with Roman Reigns was quite interesting, but some feel as if it was, on the whole, a bit lackluster. While Solo has a lot of positive attributes in WWE, an argument could be made that his in-ring work generally isn't a highlight of his. With Jacob Fatu, that is an entirely different story. The Samoan werewolf can deliver in a main event match and has done so in various promotions all over the United States. If he takes over the new Bloodline, he could do so again. Roman Reigns and Jacob Fatu could have a main event level feud that is one for the ages. Fatu is more than good enough to carry his own weight, but he also has an aura that could match Roman's. This matchup would feel completely fresh and exciting. Number 1. Hikuleo could be brought in as the new enforcer of the group. Jacob Fatu's version of the new Bloodline, at least in theory, will feature 3 key members: himself, Tama Tonga, and Tonga Loa. The latter, however, is out due to an injury. This would leave just Tama and Jacob. Thankfully, there is a big recruit Jacob Fatu could bring in to watch his back. Just as Solo was the enforcer and Jacob Fatu became one later, the Samoan werewolf could introduce his own enforcer of the new Bloodline, Hikuleo. Hikuleo is the younger, but much larger brother of Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa. The former New Japan Pro Wrestling star has reportedly been signed by WWE for quite some time and is awaiting his official debut. His debut could come by becoming the 4th official member of this new version of the Bloodline. 1. The Bloodline Reborn. Dominance in the tag team division. The moment Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa aligned themselves to take over the reins of the Bloodline, it sent shockwaves through the WWE Universe. The SmackDown Tag Team division, once dominated by the Usos, would now be put on notice. The charisma, power, and legacy of the Fatu family, combined with the raw, unrelenting energy of Solo Sikoa, would make them an unstoppable force. In the weeks leading up to their official formation of the new Bloodline, Jacob Fatu made his presence known, walking into the locker room with an intensity that could only be described as seismic. Solo Sikoa, with his already established reign in WWE, stood by his side, ready to forge a new legacy. With Paul Heyman once again playing the role of advocate, the two were poised to deliver on their promise of domination. Their first move was to challenge the tag teams of SmackDown, making a statement by defeating some of the division's top names in one brutal and dominant display. The Usos, seeing their reign as the premier tag team now threatened by this new faction, found themselves at a crossroads. Would they bow down to the new rulers of the Bloodline, or would they take the risk of facing them head-on? The clash of family loyalties built an intense and emotional rivalry, pulling in the WWE Universe in a way few could predict. The new Bloodline's reign in the tag division would be marked by constant battles against top teams. Their power, athleticism, and willingness to bend the rules would make them a force that no one could truly stand up to. The SmackDown Tag Team titles would rest firmly in their grasp, leaving every other tag team with a seemingly insurmountable challenge to overcome. 2. The rise of Jacob Fatu as a solo star. While the SmackDown Tag Team division was thrust into chaos, another evolution was happening within the new Bloodline. Jacob Fatu, known for his hard-hitting moves and unrelenting demeanor, was quickly making a name for himself, not just as a tag team competitor, but as a dominant singles star in his own right. Fatu, still in his early days with the company, was hungry for more than just tag team gold. He was gunning for a world title, and with the Bloodline behind him, the sky was the limit. In matches against top-tier stars, Fatu's presence was undeniable. His Samoan drop, Samoan spike, and moonsault became his signature moves, catching fans off guard and showing his versatility in the ring. His combination of strength and athleticism made him a legitimate contender to challenge for Roman Reigns' undisputed Universal Championship. The rise of Fatu as a singles competitor would further solidify the new Bloodline's grip on SmackDown. Roman Reigns, seeing his cousin's potential, would welcome the challenge, but also view it as a threat. Could Fatu, the heir apparent to the Bloodline legacy, eventually dethrone Reigns? The story of family loyalty would come into question as Jacob Fatu's ambition began to clash with the very foundation that Roman had built. Fatu's road to the top would be fraught with obstacles, including bitter family feuds and challenges from WWE's top stars. His journey to the Universal Championship would not only define his career, but also reshape the entire trajectory of the new Bloodline. 3. Solo Sikoa and the cultivation of the enforcer role. In the wake of Jacob Fatu's rise as a potential world champion, Solo Sikoa, always known for his enforcer role within the Bloodline, would embrace his role with even more viciousness. Whereas Fatu was poised to take over the singles division, Solo Sikoa would become the ruthless enforcer who'd do whatever it took to keep the Bloodline's empire intact. Solo would be unleashed in ways the WWE Universe had never seen before. His confrontations with any challenger who dared to step up to the new Bloodline would be marked by brutal beatdowns and intimidation tactics. His attacks would be quick, punishing, and often leave competitors reeling in pain, unable to mount any real offense. Behind the scenes, Sikoa would be the one keeping the peace among the members of the new Bloodline, making sure no one steps out of line, while still being the hammer that would lay waste to anyone threatening the faction's power. The intimidation factor would be real. When Sikoa stepped into the ring, it would feel like a countdown to devastation for his opponents. One of Sikoa's most interesting developments could be his struggle with leadership. While Roman Reigns had always been the undisputed head of the Bloodline, Solo Sikoa's no-nonsense attitude could lead to internal tension. Would Solo eventually challenge Reigns for control, or would he remain the loyal enforcer, the muscle of the new Bloodline? If Solo broke away and challenged Roman, It could spark an epic battle for the leadership of the faction, with family ties on the line. For the emotional betrayal of the Usos, a new era for the bloodline. The Usos, once the heart and soul of the bloodline, would have no choice but to confront their fears and insecurities in the face of Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa's dominance. The rise of the new bloodline would create an emotional divide, as Jimmy and Jey Uso struggled with their position in the family. Roman Reigns, ever the strategist, could use the tension between the Usos to his advantage. He would manipulate the situation, convincing them that their legacy was being threatened by the newcomers and ultimately pushing them to challenge their cousins. The Usos, torn between loyalty and pride, would eventually find themselves on opposite sides of a faction war, turning against Fatu and Sikoa in a last-ditch attempt to regain control of the bloodline. This eventual betrayal would mark a significant turning point, with Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa fully establishing themselves as the true heirs to the throne. But what would that mean for the future of the family? Would this be the end of the bloodline as we know it? Or could it open the door for an even more ruthless and powerful faction? The Usos' betrayal would come with devastating consequences for them. Reigns, already eyeing the faction's consolidation, might see their act of defiance as a personal affront. The result would be a spectacular family feud that would unravel the very fabric of the bloodline, creating a new dynamic and introducing fresh rivalries and matchups for years to come. The new bloodline would represent the next chapter in the Fatu family's dominance of SmackDown. With Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa at the helm, the bloodline would evolve into something even more dangerous and unpredictable, setting the stage for a new era in WWE. Whether that means the end of Roman Reigns' long reign as champion or the beginning of a new era under the leadership of Fatu and Sikoa, one thing is certain: the new bloodline would be an undeniable force. The world of WWE is constantly evolving, with fresh rivalries brewing on the horizon. Among the many potential matchups that fans have salivated over, one that stands out is the possibility of Jacob Fatu, a member of the legendary Anoa'i family, facing off against the undisputed WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns. While Roman has held the spotlight for years, leading the bloodline as the tribal chief, Fatu represents a new wave of Anoa'i talent ready to stake his claim as the future of the family's wrestling legacy. The seeds of this epic feud could be planted at a critical moment in WWE history. Roman Reigns, already a dominant force, finds himself at the top of his game, holding the title that symbolized dominance for years. However, the world around him is changing. The Anoa'i family's legacy has always been at the core of WWE's history, but as new talents emerge, so does the question: who is the rightful heir to the throne? It all begins with an unexpected encounter. Jacob Fatu, having established himself as a top star in promotions like Major League Wrestling, MLW, arrives in WWE with a chip on his shoulder. He's been training for this moment his entire life, knowing that one day he would have to face the man who controls the family's legacy, Roman Reigns. The first clash, a family reunion turned sour. The stage is set for a shocking debut. Jacob Fatu steps into the WWE ring for the first time, drawing the attention of fans and wrestlers alike. As a member of the Anoa'i family, his arrival is initially met with excitement, with many in the locker room welcoming him with open arms. Even Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, offers a token of acknowledgement, nodding his approval as a family member. But things take an unexpected turn. Jacob, instead of bowing to Roman's dominance, claims that the time for Roman to lead is over. Jacob cuts a promo that strikes at the heart of the family legacy. He speaks of the history that runs through their veins, from the wild Samoans to the Usos, but he makes it clear that Roman's reign is built on arrogance and selfishness. Jacob claims that the true leader of the Anoa'i family has arrived, and it's time for Roman to step aside. Roman, ever the confident tribal chief, dismisses Jacob's words with a smirk. However, as the weeks progress, the tension between them grows. Roman's rule begins to face cracks as the bloodline starts to feel the strain of his domination. The Usos, his cousins, are caught in the crossfire, torn between loyalty to their cousin and the rising force in Jacob Fatu. The fractures within the bloodline could be the perfect opportunity for Fatu to make his move. A battle of blood, personal stakes. In the weeks leading up to their first confrontation, Jacob Fatu's character becomes more intense. He begins to dismantle Roman's aura of invincibility, calling out his reliance on Paul Heyman and mocking his tribal chief moniker. Jacob's grittier, no-nonsense approach appeals to fans, as he shows himself to be a more humble but dangerous version of the Anoa'i bloodline. Roman, sensing the threat, continues his reign with an iron fist. He gives orders for Fatu to be systematically targeted, sending the Usos and other members of the bloodline to take him down. But Jacob's resilience proves too strong. Every time Roman's faction strikes, Fatu fights back with equal, if not greater, ferocity. The feud takes a personal turn when Jacob confronts Roman in a backstage segment. This time, there are no words of respect or family solidarity. Jacob declares that Roman's reign isn't about the family, it's about his ego. The family legacy, Jacob argues, should be about unity and honor, not power and control. Roman, infuriated by the challenge to his supremacy, responds with a brutal attack, leaving Jacob battered and bruised. Roman stands tall, but there's a sense that this feud has only just begun. The match builds, a clash of titans. The first official match between Jacob Fatu and Roman Reigns would be nothing short of a spectacle. As the rivalry escalates, WWE sets the stage for a colossal showdown at one of its biggest events, WrestleMania. The build-up to the match involves mind games, psychological warfare, and physical confrontations. Both men are determined to prove that they are the rightful heir to the Anoa'i throne, and the stakes are high. Jacob Fatu, known for his high-flying ability and raw power, uses his agility to match Roman's calculated brutality. Fatu's Samoan drop is a statement of his power, and his agility in the ring challenges Roman's more grounded, dominating style. This contrast in styles creates a dynamic that keeps the fans on the edge of their seats, as it's a battle between the old and the new, tradition and evolution. Roman, of course, is not to be underestimated. He's learned from his years of dominance, and his psychological manipulation and reliance on the bloodline help him stay one step ahead of Fatu. Yet Fatu's unpredictability and willingness to fight dirty make him an unpredictable opponent. The story of the match isn't just about wrestling. It's about the two men's shared bloodline and the emotional weight of their family history. The final showdown, legacy on the line. The climax of their feud comes when the two men face each other at WrestleMania in a match that has all the hallmarks of a generational collision. The final showdown isn't just a wrestling match. It's the culmination of years of family pride, ego, and personal ambition. Roman's reign as tribal chief is on the line, but so is Jacob's future in the family. If Fatu loses, he will forever be seen as the one who couldn't dethrone Roman and take his place at the top. If Roman loses, he will have to step down from his position as the leader of the Anoa'i family, allowing Fatu to claim his spot as the new tribal chief. The match is a brutal affair, with both men pushing each other to their limits. Roman's experience in multi-man matches gives him an edge early on, but Fatu's ability to adapt and fight back in any situation makes this contest a back-and-forth battle. There are moments when it feels like Roman might put Fatu away for good, but the younger challenger keeps rising up, showing the world that he's more than just another Samoan wrestler. He's the future of the family. The end of the match is a crescendo of emotion, as Jacob Fatu scores the pinfall after a devastating Super Samoan drop off the top rope. The crowd erupts in jubilation as Jacob stands victorious, having defeated Roman Reigns in the biggest match of his life. Roman, exhausted and defeated, watches as Jacob stands tall, finally claiming the title of tribal chief. Aftermath, a new era. With Jacob Fatu's victory, the WWE landscape is forever changed. Roman Reigns, though still a formidable force, must now live in the shadow of the man who has proven himself as the true heir to the Anoa'i legacy. This marks the beginning of a new era, where Jacob Fatu's rise to the top symbolizes not just the evolution of the bloodline, but the evolution of WWE itself. Roman may have lost his crown, but his legacy in WWE will never be erased. For Jacob Fatu, this victory is just the start of a long and fruitful career as the leader of the Anoa'i family, setting the stage for future rivalries, alliances, and family drama that will unfold over years to come.